Hey everybody, and welcome to Comics from the Future. I'm Andy.
I'm Matt.
And we're here with Infinity Flux Comics out of Chattanooga, Tennessee. And this is our big show where we show you all the things that are up for pre-order this week. Your orders are due Sunday by 9 o'clock if you are customers with us. If you go to another store, find out what their cutoff is for them. But we think that's pretty good. There is a lot of really good books on this for this week. So you don't want to miss these.
A lot of number ones.
A lot of number ones. So stay
across Marvel, DC, Image, whatever.
Yes.
A lot of them, yeah.
Stay through the whole show because I'm sure you'll find something that you want as we go along. And just a reminder, head over to infinityflux.net and you can follow along, do your pre-orders as you watch or listen to the show. So let's get started with our featured comics.
Starting with Punisher #1. So this is the brand new Punisher. This is written by David Pepose with art by David Wachter. I think I messed that up. So this is described as John Wick meets The Fugitive. We know that Frank Castle is no longer the Punisher, at least for now. He's off doing something totally different, right?
Yeah.
So this is a brand new Punisher. His name is Joe Garrison. He is a retired SHIELD Black Ops agent who was brought back into the action after his past rears its violent head. So I don't know. It'd be cool if this guy was in like one panel of some book that SHIELD was doing something in once. Like I don't
in the 70s.
Yeah, like I don't know that we've ever seen this guy before, but him being part of SHIELD I find pretty interesting. So don't really know what the overall story of this series is going to be, but we do have a brand new Punisher, which interests me quite a bit. So we'll have to wait and see, exactly what happens. And the solicitation even says, who is he and what has put him on this path, and will he make it out alive? So maybe this is like a temporary Punisher. You never know. So anyway, we have our A cover right here. We've got some cool variants. We have a MICO SUAYAN variant. We have a Phil Noto Knight's End variant. These, I'm willing to bet neither of these characters are in the issue.
Turns out the Punisher's actually a werewolf.
Ooh, that'd be real
that'd
cool.
Be really cool.
For sure. And then a really cool Scotty Young variant. I absolutely love that.
I love how serious this little guy looks. And next up, we've got a new one from DC. This is a one-shot called Supergirl Special. So this is, I really like this. I think on our Monday show, I kind of equated this, or our Wednesday show equated this to kind of how Power Girl had her special.
Yeah.
And it sounds very similar. Supergirl, Kara, is just when she kind of thought she found her place within the Superman family, Power Girl showed up again. And they are the same person, just from two separate Earths. And is this town big enough for the two of them, basically? So they're each going to have to figure out what their place is in this. And can they work together? From a few preview pages I got to see of this, it does look like there's a little bit of conflict between them. Like, kind of stepping on each other's toes type thing. And what does the public perceive of these two? So it sounds really cool. This is going to be by Mariko Tamaki, and the art is by Skylar Partridge. And it says, Kara's going to have to go from the city to the stars to try to figure out where her place is.
And I guess that's a thing that the super folks do, because Superboy just did that same thing. Connor Kent, he had the miniseries where he went off into space to try to find himself. So
yeah, they kind of take a pilgrimage.
Right.
So we have this A cover here. We also have this Frank Cho variant, which is very nice. And we have this Will Jack variant, and this one also comes in a foil variant as well.
Nice. Next is Daredevil Black Armor #1. So this is, you guys know by now that Marvel loves to do miniseries that are set back in the, I don't want to say set back in the 90s, because not necessarily the story in the book is, but yeah, like set back to fit in the stories that came out in the 90s. This one specifically back when Daredevil was wearing what I think is this really cool like black suit. Like I like this. Maybe if you take off the metal bits, I think this would actually be a really cool suit for him. But this is set back then. We don't really know what the overall story is of this one either. Marvel likes to be a little bit stingy sometimes with their details, but we do know. I looked ahead at issue #2 for this, and on the cover alone, we see Hobgoblin and Sabretooth, and it also mentions that Kingpin and Spider-Man are going to pop up too. So just all kinds of really cool stuff. It sounds like it's going to happen in this series. I don't know if all of those characters will be in issue number 1, but they are going to be present in this miniseries at some point, which sounds awesome. It's also cool because this is written by D.G. Chichester, who wrote this era of Daredevil back in the 90s. So it's like he's coming back to write some more of this specific era. So I'm excited about this. There's some cool Mark Bagley covers for the various A covers for the series as well. So this one is by Mark Bagley. We also have the Gustavo Duarte Howard the Duck variant. I don't think Howard the Duck's going to appear in this. We have this really cool Ken Lashley variant. And then we have this really cool Paulo Siqueira foil variant, and this is going to be one of those ones where you do need to check with your shop about what the price is going to be. It might not necessarily be the same across the board. It might not be necessarily the same thing that's on the barcode. So just double check with your shop about the price of that.
Now, was Ben Reilly Spider-Man during this time?
I think this was before a little bit. I'm pretty sure.
The parallel timelines get a little thrown off about. But you kind of have a specific look for the Marvel Universe during this time. They all had a little bit of this flavor going on.
Yeah, you know what? I have to look it up, but I want to say this was a little before Ben Reilly.
Next up, we have Star Wars The High Republic #1. So this is our third #1 from the main High Republic series, but this is because it's the start of Phase 3. So Phase 3 actually goes back to the characters and storylines and time frame of Phase 1. So you've got all of your favorites back. Your Elzar Mann, Keeve Trennis, who I know there's a lot of fans of, who was kind of our main character of that originally. And this one, it picks up after Starlight Beacon has been destroyed, which was kind of the hope, kind of a symbol of hope for the galaxy as the Republic spread into the unknown regions. But it got destroyed by the Nile, the Marauders, the Nile, and now, of course, everybody is in the galaxy is in an uproar. Keeve Trennis is going to lead a desperate assault against the invading forces. But it does also say, is the Force really with her on this? So it sounds like there may be some Force faltering.
Yeah, maybe the Force took a day off, you know.
That's fine. It's been around a long time. It deserves deserves a breather.
Long weekend.
But I'm really excited about this, but definitely check with your store, because if you're getting the previous series, they may not go ahead and pull you for this one. Just double check, make sure you're re-signed up for Star Wars The High Republic. And this does run alongside the Shadows of Starlight series that's going on. That's a mini-series, and this is the actual main one. So you'll have two going on there for just a little while. This is our A cover for that. We also have this Andy Wu variant and a SUAYAN connecting variant, but as you can see, not final cover, but I'm going to guess it's going to look very similar to this.
Next is Deadpool 7 Slaughters #1, or as I like to call it, 7 Slafters, because without the S, it's laughter, right? Do we know for sure? I think this is a one-shot. Do we know?
For the price, I believe it's $9.99. I believe it's a one-shot.
Yeah, because I looked to see if there was like a #2. I didn't see one. So I do believe this is a one-shot. So this is actually written by Rob Liefeld and other writers, and also drawn by Rob Liefeld and other artists. So I do think it's going to be sort of like an anthology story with different... it might be one story with different chapters, or it might be just different stories altogether. But it does say that 7 kills in 7 days. Welcome to a week in the life of Wade Wilson. Says he's going to face off against rival killers. He's going to take on top secret assassinations. So I'm pretty sure it's going to be one long story, but like one writer and artist will do one day, somebody else will do it the next day, and the next day, and the next day. So that actually sounds pretty cool. That sounds like a pretty unique Deadpool story. I'd like to read that. So if you're a Deadpool fan, definitely don't miss this. And again, it's probably going to be a one shot, but sounds like a fun one.
And Capullo doing the A cover.
That's right. Yeah, incredible. I know. Capullo doing the A cover. We also have an Elizabeth Torque variant. Oh, hello there. We've got a Frank Miller variant. He's been doing a lot of these. We've got a GARCIN variant. A Ryan Brown variant. Oh, I wonder if he's going to get the Infinity Gauntlet at the end of the week.
Crazy.
Yeah, and then a Sarah Pacelli variant as well.
Very fun.
Yep.
Next up, we have Savage Red Sonja. This is a return to some classic Red Sonja in this new series. This is going to be written by Dan Panosian, who also did this fantastic A cover here. And this is going to take Red Sonja kind of back to the Robert E. Howard pulp stories, the sword and sorcery that kind of spawned Conan and Red Sonja. So I think that sounds really cool, especially since we've got the Conan book
Yeah.
going on right
I
now
would
that
love for
is
them to meet up too.
very much like
Yeah.
that. And in this one, she is tasked with retrieving a long hidden gem from a crumbled ancient kingdom, but there will be plenty of bandits and beasts in her way. And it does sound like she will meet, I believe it said like a prince that she has to escort along the way. Just, the kind of stuff that Red Sonja gets
Yeah.
into.
It's an escort quest.
Yeah.
Those are never fun. And wow.
But this sounds really fun. I really like this. The style for this sounds really cool. So this is our A cover here. We also have a Frank Cho variant, an Arthur Adams
I like
variant,
that one.
and a cosplay variant, as well as among a bunch of other variants. Red Sonja always has.
Yeah, Dynamite goes big with their variants. So next one is Thanos #1. This is going to be, I believe, a mini series. We do know there's a #2 solicited, so it's more than just a one shot. I just don't know how many issues is going to be in this. But in this one, Thanos versus the Illuminati. Like that's really all you need. Thanos comes to Earth to retrieve something that he has lost. The Illuminati are going to get together to stop him because they are the ones who hid it from him in the first place. So I don't know exactly what it is, but it's obviously something they don't want him to have. Is it the Infinity Gauntlet? Is it the Infinity Gem? Is it something, like, oh, we don't want him to have the remote because he always hogs it or whatever. Who knows? But yeah, Thanos versus the Illuminati. I mean, that sounds pretty good. I don't think we've seen Thanos in a while either.
No,
Have
not
we?
for a little while.
Not for a little bit, anyway.
Yeah.
So it'll be cool to see him again. So we have this really cool A cover here. We also have a window shades variant. So I guess he just burned the window shades down. Like I'm not playing with window shades. I'm gonna tear them down. There is the Kendrick Lim variant. I really like that one. And then there's a Phil Noto homage variant as well.
This one looks like he put out his fist and then he's about to realize, I don't have the Infinity Gauntlet.
Oh man, my
this
fist
is just a normal fist.
Yeah, this isn't good. Yeah.
Okay, next up we have Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom Special #1, but this is a one-shot. This is going to be bridging the stories between the first Aquaman movie and the new and Lost Kingdom coming up. This is going to be by Tim Seeley, Joey Esposito, and Ethan Sachs, each taking on a story because it's going to have 3 stories in it. First off, we're going to have Aquaman is trying to balance being a king and a member of the Justice League and planning a wedding. So I wonder if we're going to get the wedding at maybe the beginning of the movie, or is it going to take place in this?
I don't know.
We see that he's got the baby in the movie
Right.
too, so we interesting to see how that.
I feel like it'll be in this that they won't show that in the movie. Like if you want to see that, you'll have to read this as the bridge to the movie.
And then we also have a story: Black Manta seeks Atlantean tech to help rebuild his armor. We've seen that he gets kind of a sleeker new armor
looks awesome.
for the movie, so that'll be really cool to see. And then Orm plots to escape his Atlantean prison. So we know those are going to be kind of your 3 main characters in the new Aquaman movie. If you kind of want to see what's going to be leading up to them, maybe some sneak peeks of the storyline, you'll have to check this out. We've got our A cover here. We also have this Jim Chung variant. We have a photo variant and a blank sketch cover variant as well.
Next is SOMNA #1. So this is a new book from Distillery. So a few weeks back we had The Devil's Cut from Distillery, which was kind of like a preview of stories to come, and this was one of them. So the cool thing about this is it's written and drawn by both Becky Cloonan and Tula Lote. They're both going to be doing both parts of this, which is cool. So this is going to be set in the 1600s. It's about a woman who is trying to escape from a terrifying witch hunt, as they were wont to do back in the day. Her name is Ingrid. She's married to a guy named Roland, and he's the town's bailiff and chief witch hunter. So there is a murder in the town. A town leader is murdered, and Roland investigates everybody. It says nobody is off limits. Everybody's getting grilled about who the killer is. Ingrid thinks she knows who the killer is, and while she's trying to track down the truth about what really happened, she is actually being pursued by a shadowy figure, and she begins to become drawn to that. So a whole lot of moving parts to this. A nice mid-century murder mystery kind of thing. It sounds really cool. The preview in it was in the Devil's Cut was really, really good. So I can't wait to check out more of this. So this A cover here is by CLOONAN, and then this is from Tuolote. We also have a Lee variant, and then we have a Polybag Tuolote variant, and that. Oh, it's not going to come in that, we don't think,
No.
right? Like that's just like their clever like
Yeah,
imagery way.
I just would love comics coming in paper
I would
bags.
love,
It
yeah,
just seems really
that would
fun.
be awesome.
Okay, and before we get to our next segment, other number ones, just want to remind you to head over to infinityflux.net right now where you can pre-order all of these books. You can set up a subscription or a pull list with us. Everything you pre-order, you get 10% off of. And you just become one of our awesome members of our Infinity Flux family. So that is super cool. Also, you can use the promo code I love Flux at checkout and get 10% off of your first order. And if you first order and you pre-order stuff, you get double that 10%. So that is a fantastic deal. And one other thing, don't forget, we have an exclusive cover coming out that I did for Fear the Funhouse Toy Box of Terror that is limited to 250 copies. You can pre-order it right now. It's right there on the homepage of infinityflux.net. So much fun stuff going on
Yep.
around here.
And we have those exclusive Halloween Infinity Flux T-shirts that are right there on the front
those
page too. Yeah,
So, man, just
all kinds of
so much good
exclusives, and
stuff.
yeah, you don't want to miss any of it.
So, getting into other number ones, starting with What If Dark, Tomb of Dracula. I like how the What If and then Dark is standing by itself. What if
Yeah,
Dark,
dark.
the Tomb of Dracula?
What if it was dark in the Tomb of
It
Dracula? Well,
probably
it
is.
probably
It looks
is.
like it is. Not a whole lot about this one. Not a whole lot in the solicitation. Of course, these What If Dark are kind of darker takes on. Sometimes they're like original, like classic stories. Sometimes they're their own time
Yeah.
frame stories. But this one is I feel like the big selling point is it is written by Marv Wolfman,
Yeah.
who is your classic Tomb of Dracula writer. The famous story where back then where they couldn't put his name on the book because you're not allowed to say Wolfman or Wolfman on a
Yeah.
lot of things. And anyways, it's a great story. But yeah, him coming back doing Tomb of Dracula, and this is What If Dracula turned Blade into a vampire? I guess since
Like-
he's half vampire, they
like
just
all the way,
they just finished
yeah.
the job. So it sounds really cool. And if you're enjoying these What If Dark books, you'll want to check this one out. This is our A cover, and we also have this Art Germ variant.
All right, so next we have Batman, Catwoman, the Gotham War, Scorched Earth, number one, which is the end of the Gotham War storyline. This is it. It's all leading to this right here. And we still have Catwoman number 58 to go. It's not out yet, and we still have the second issue of the Red Hood two-part deal that hasn't come out yet. So those two are coming out soon, and then this, and that's going to wrap up the whole thing. In this one, Batman and his family must find a way to overcome an ancient enemy. And if you've been reading it, I think we pretty much know who that ancient enemy is now, but I still won't say it because I don't want to spoil it for anybody. But after how Batman number 138 ended, I really want to see, like, oh, when that character came in, I was wondering how it was going to figure in, and oh, it's a big deal.
Yeah.
Like, there's something larger going on here. So, can Batman and Catwoman put aside their differences long enough to deal with that ancient enemy? And it says that lives are changed forever, or at least for a little while.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, if you've been reading the Gotham War, definitely don't miss this. This is the bookend. You know, they had the blood battle lines, and then they had Scorched Earth, and those are your two bookends.
Yeah.
So don't miss this. So we have our A cover right here. We have an Adam Hughes variant, which I think is hilarious. You know, like Catwoman is not loving how Batman's driving. And then we have a Kedrick Kunka foil variant. This
There's a
and,
regular
and a foil.
and
Yeah,
a foil of this as
yeah,
well.
absolutely.
Next up, we have a new book from AWA. This is actually by a new writer named Sarah Cho. So if you're onto new writers and stuff, that's really cool. And this one's a little bit of a spicier take, but it sounds really cool. Lacey works in an AI brothel, and her life is all about her work under the watchful eye of her mysterious boss. But one day she befriends Natalie, an orphan child, and they plan their escape from the red light district, but are thrown into a mystery about Lacey's creation. So it sounds like she's kind of an AI robot type thing. You
Yeah.
can see the mysterious character in the background. Just sounds like a new, interesting adult story
Yeah.
from AWA. They did these.
Sci-fi kind of
Yeah,
cyberpunk kind of thing.
yeah, definitely cyberpunk
Yeah.
feeling. So this is our A cover for that. This really pretty Frank Cho cover. This is very subtle and soft, but I think
Hmm.
it's really cool. We also have this one. This is the Ferguson cover. And this one, of course, also has a polybagged variant as well.
Not a brown paper
Not a brown
bag.
paper bag, unfortunately.
So next is Blood Commandment #1. This is going to be a 4-issue miniseries, and this one sounds really, really cool. So this one is about a man named Ezra Connolly who lives with his son Will. They live off the grid in an isolated, shadowed valley surrounded by mountains, and you can kind of see it there on the cover. Like they're completely isolated. Ezra spends his days teaching Will survival skills. But Will has questions like, why are we living this way? Why do they never leave the valley before sundown? But they are terrorized by a shadowy presence, and only Ezra's dark secrets can save them or damn their souls for all of eternity. So,
Huh.
one or the other, you got 50-50. But yeah, it just sounds like a really cool, spooky book coming out. I think this was going to come out just a pinch after Halloween,
Yeah.
but if you're still in that Halloween spirit, this will be a great one for you to get. So this is our all three of these covers are from Simon KUDRANSKI, who is the writer and the artist both on this. So yeah, here's our A cover, here's our B cover, nice Lost Boys homage, and then our C cover, nice Last of Us homage too. I like
Yeah,
that one
through
pretty
the
good.
blue PlayStation box.
Right.
Next up, we have a new D&D book. This is D&D Fortune Finder #1. This is actually from Jim Zub, your current Conan writer, taking on this one. He does fantasy like no other. And the art is by Joe Jarrow. And in this one, there's a hero with no memory, just kind of amnesia. And his name is the Finder or Finder. I'm guessing he's probably good at finding
Yes.
things. Uh,
Maybe he can
and
help Thanos find whatever he's looking
Whatever
for
he's
on
looking
Earth.
for,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, they know where it is. It's
That's true.
just,
Yeah.
it's hidden in the couch. Uh, and in this, he is trying to find out who he is, on top of why he's being chased by planar beings. And this is based off of the new D&D source book, Planescape Adventures in the Multiverse. So kind of running alongside that new release for D&D as well. Sounds cool. This is our A cover. And then we have a B cover by your interior artist, Jarro.
Next is the Ministry of Compliance. So this one, there's a lot of information in this solicitation. So
I feel
bear
like you
with me.
always get those that are
Yeah.
like paragraph.
Yeah, I opened up it and I was like, and it was like this. I was like, okay, let me start. I felt like I was reading the book.
Yeah.
So bear with me. I'm going to read some notes here. So 37 years ago, Earth was secretly invaded by an alien race known as the Devolution, and they've been shaping the direction of humanity ever since to prepare us to be assimilated into their empire. So they came 37 years ago. They're going to take over the world and everybody in it. Um, the Devolution has 13 ministries. Each one of those are responsible for manipulating different aspects of human life. It appears the ministry's mission is getting close to being completed, but things begin to go terribly wrong, and all craziness breaks loose. This character on the cover, I didn't get their name, but they are, I believe, the head of the Ministry of Compliance, so one of those 13 ministries. So this one also sounds very sci-fi heavy, like heavy sci-fi book. So if you're into that, then this is definitely a must get for you. So we have our A cover here. This is from Raphael. We have our Sook variant, and then we have a long variant as well. This looks very Jonathan Hickman data page,
Yeah.
kind of thing.
For a Ministry of Compliance, that character did not look like they comply very well with the
Mm-mm.
sword.
No, not at all.
Next up, we have Space Usagi. So, Space Usagi Death and Honor #1 is actually it's what it sounds like a reprint, but in color for the first time. Because it says a classic adventure now in color. The art is by Emi Fuji, which is interesting because usually Stan Sakai does all the art for Usagi stories. But in this one, Usagi is a general in a space fleet, and it just has to educate and protect the lord that he works for's heir. So, but it sounds like there might be a murder plot to murder that heir, and of course, it's going to be up to Space Usagi to take care of that. Funny how everyone's in space, but he's like, but I'm
I'm
space.
Space Usagi. Yeah, everybody else is regular, whatever,
Yeah,
but I'm Space version.
but it sounds really cool. I love it because there was the classic action figure, Space
Yeah.
Usagi, from the Ninja Turtles line, so this kind of harkens to that. This is our A cover. We also have this Agnes Garboska variant, which is very, very cute. And then we have a Meyer sketch variant. This is actually a sketch of the, I believe, 1 in 10 variant, but this is for local comic shop day. So get your local comic shop day orders in as well. We're going to have a bunch of those variant covers over the next few weeks as
Mhm.
we've been talking about.
Next is Godzilla Rivals versus Mechagodzilla. I do believe this. Oh yeah, one shot right there on the
Yep.
cover. Just like they've done a whole bunch of these Godzilla Rivals books. In this one, there's a company named Tracer Tech. They build their brand new shiny corporate headquarters in San Palomar, California. And in doing so, they displace a lot of the residents there, a lot of the local businesses there. But what is the source of their amazing, almost alien technology, and what is it about their technology that draws Godzilla to them? And inevitably is going to wind up with a fight between Godzilla and Mechagodzilla. So, if you are, a big fan of Godzilla books, this is a great new one to get. We have our A cover by Martinez, and then we have our Michaud B cover as well.
And next up, we've got notable twos and threes. These are continuations of books that we want to make sure you don't miss out on if you enjoyed the number ones and you want to continue to get them. Starting with Star Wars The High Republic Shadows of Starlight number 2. This is like I talked about earlier. This is actually coming on alongside that new High Republic number 1, whereas I think the number 1 will take place 1 year after the
Mhm.
events of Phase 1. This is taking place during the missing year that's between that. So you kind of see in this all the events that lead up to that new one. So it just says more secrets are revealed in the missing year after the fall of Starlight Beacon. You see Starlight Beacon in the ocean right there. You've got Elzar Mann on the cover. We have some variants as well. So we've got this really nice variant. This is the Smith variant with Ava Chris on it, which is really cool.
And next is God's number 2. So
In detail, what this issue is about.
I wish I could. So the solicitations for God's number 1 and this one number 2 and ahead to number 3, number 4. The solicitations are super cryptic, so I'm not even going to pretend like I know what issue 2 is going to be about. But it is continuing the story that's going to redefine Marvel's cosmology. I still, after the first issue, don't really see how that's going to happen, but
Yeah.
that's why you have to read. So maybe we'll get some more information in this. We are going to meet at least one new character. You can see her on the cover. I forgot her name though, but she is part of this new cast of characters that this series is introducing us to. But she was not in the first issue, so I think she's been in some preview pages, maybe.
Yeah, and they've been doing those preview like little one-page
That's
stories
right.
and a lot
Yeah,
of things.
that's
I
right.
think
That's
she was
right.
in
Yeah, she
those.
was in one of those. So we'll definitely meet her in more detail in this issue. What is interesting though is I'm excited to read this issue and then go back and read the solicitation because the solicitation for
Oh
number
yeah.
1 had just a bunch of what sounded like nonsense in it. But then when you like, there's a John Wilkes Booth penny on the ground, and you're like, what does that mean? But then in issue 1, there was, and
Yeah.
it played a part in the story. So I want to go back and see how the weird stuff in the solicitation for this one actually shows up in the book. So if you like the first one, don't miss this second issue. We have our A cover here, and then we have a Mike Del Mundo variant as well, featuring Aiko with her gun that she can make out
Kind
of
of
crystals or whatever.
yeah.
Yeah,
That's a cool part though in that
yeah,
issue. Next up, we have Uncanny Spider-Man number 3. We still haven't got issue 2 yet, but I really enjoyed issue 1. I thought it was
yeah. It
very,
was
very
fun.
cool.
Mhm.
I really like Nightcrawler as a new Spider-Man. And this one, even though we haven't read issue number 2, it does say Silver Sable, is out to get Nightcrawler as was revealed at the end of number 1, but is her heart really in it?
Mm.
Which, I mean, she can play the hero character as
Oh,
well
I
as
mean,
the
she did.
assassin.
Yeah, she did all through the '90s. So
Yeah, but if not her, then who will do the job of taking out Nightcrawler? So we'll have to find out. But this is our A cover here. And then we also have a Lee Garbett variant here with that new vulture in the
yeah.
background. And next up, we got cool covers. These are really cool covers we want to make sure you don't miss out on. Starting with.
Amazing Spider-Man number 37. This we're getting near the gang war storyline that's going to be present in Amazing Spider-Man and Miles Morales and a whole bunch of other books. But in this issue in particular, Rec, who, if you read the Dark Web series, he's like a big, like bulky, like kind of a dumb, like mirror version of Spider-Man. He returns in this, and he might be able to help Spider-Man out of the darkness that he can't seem to shake. So right now, Spider-Man's all dark and got Norman Osborn's sins in him. So Rec might be able to help him out of that. But at the same time, Rec is also targeted by what is described as the scariest new villain the scariest new Spidey villain in decades. So maybe I don't know if we've seen that character yet. Maybe a first appearance of a new villain. I'm not 100%
Oh,
sure. But there's some cool covers for this. So this is the apocalyptic suit from the upcoming Spider-Man 2 video game, which I am super excited for. We have the De Lorenzi Disney 100 Secret Wars variant. I love that one. There is the Federico Vicentini Stormbreakers variant. That's your Miles Morales artist, which
yeah.
he's fantastic. And then the Carrie Andrews variant as well. And there's Rec right
There's that
there.
crap.
Yep, and everybody else that Spider-Man has ever faced.
And next up, we've got Star Wars Darth Vader issue number 40. This is the Rod Rice Life Day variant. I didn't know they were going to be doing a lot of these Life Day variants, but it's, I guess it's, I forgot what day is Wookiee Life Day. I think there's an actual day that they celebrate it.
It's Christmas, or isn't it around Christmas?
It's,
Yeah,
it's supposed to be their Christmas, but I don't
right.
know if it's like, is it like in November or
Yeah.
whatever? I don't know. But it's cool to see all these. Like, how does the different people in the galaxy celebrate Life Day? So this year one for Darth Vader. Not a whole lot to say about this issue. It just continues the Dark Droids tie-in with the Scourge of Coruscant. So sounds cool, and you got this great kind of Episode 1 era Anakin and Shmi Life Day variant.
So next is Detective Comics number 1076. So this is going to start a new story arc called Batman Outlaw. So 1075 hasn't come out yet. That's going to be the last part of the Gotham Nocturne storyline. And then this issue, the beginning of Batman Outlaw, this is going to be a 5-part bi-weekly event. So we're going to get this every other week, starting with this one. In this one, this does have ties to the Gotham Nocturne storyline, though, because in this one, Batman is under control of an asthma demon who we just saw that happen right before at the tail end of the issue that came out before Night Terrors, and then the most recent issue 1074 that came out that was all about him being like being possessed, kind of like that. But because he's possessed by an asthma demon, he is supposed to be publicly hanged
Oh.
for his crimes. The city at this point is under the control of the Orgums, who are the big antagonist from the Gotham Nocturne storyline. The city has become lawless. The Bat family is out of the picture after the events of the Gotham War. So another ragtag sort of mishmash group of Batman's allies and foes and things like that. They're going to have to sort of come in to deal with everything that's going on. So new story arc for Batman in Detective Comics number 1076, and this is our B cover by Jason Sean Alexander, who is going to be the artist throughout this story arc as well.
And next up, we've got a trade. This is for Star Wars Yoda. This collects issues 1 through 10. This is a really great series, especially there was, I think the second 3-issue story arc in this was really, really good. And this is going to be $34.99 if you didn't get a chance to pick it up individually.
And then we've got the World Tree trade paperback. At least for Volume 1, this is going to collect World Tree numbers 1 through 5, so giving you that full story. And this is going to be $9.99, which is a fantastic price for this really, really good story.
And next up, we've got a really interesting one. This is Ultimate Marvel by Jonathan Hickman Omnibus. So just in time for the new Ultimate Universe to be kicking off, go back and check out the last time he worked on the
Right.
Ultimate Universe. With this one, this collects Ultimate Thor 1 through 4, Ultimate Comics Hawkeye 1 through 4, Ultimate Comics Ultimates 1 through 12, and material from Ultimate Fallout 2 through 6, which was your first appearance of Miles Morales in issue 4. Yep. And this, I believe, is right at $100. This is your A cover for that, and then there's the direct market variant.
And then we've got the facsimile edition to X-Men number 141, which is the very first part of the Days of Future Past storyline, one of the best stories ever in the history of all X-Men, and they are releasing a facsimile version, which, you know, all the ads and everything are going to be in this. There is going to be an A cover, right? And then
Yeah.
we have, or a regular cover, and then there's going to be a foil variant as well, which is going to be the same thing, but just in foil. And this is one of the most classic covers of any comic ever
Yeah.
in history, and to have a foil version of that is going to be pretty cool.
Okay, they heard you. They said, hey, these people out here, they really like Transformers.
Yeah, we do.
So it is coming through a second printing, of course. I think we all knew that was coming.
Mhm.
But did you know it was going to come in a second printing this hard?
Yeah.
So there is actually a bunch of variants for the second printing of Transformers. This is the A cover by Howard. This is your B cover by Howard. I love him. That's your artist on Astounding Wolfman. So, you know, Kirkman
yeah.
goes and gets his friends.
Right.
Then we also have a La Rosa C cover and a La Rosa D cover. So you've got your Autobots and your Decepticons there. And then a Greg Titochi variant as well. If you haven't read the issue, don't worry about this. But if you have, you get it.
Yeah, you get it. And I can't remember the last time one single issue came back for a second printing with 5 different variant covers.
Yeah.
This is a big deal.
This is very big. So that is it for Comics from the Future. Thank you so much for watching. Definitely head over to infinityflux.net where you can pre-order all these books right now, get all the variants, get everything that's on there, including our exclusive cover, our shirts. We got all the
There's all
merch
kinds
over
of stuff
there.
there. There's game stuff there. Just buy everything that you see.
Yeah, we would appreciate that.
Yeah.
I know I would. Like I said, thank you so much for watching. We'll be back on Monday or our early comic review video. We'll be going over some of the books that are coming out next week, and I'll let you know what you'll want to be getting when you head to your store. And thank you so much for watching. Until next time,
See ya.
See ya.